Mirrors and Dreams, Book 2 of the Unseen Scar series, written and narrated by C.R. Saxon. Chapter 11. Master Ferdinan. Sand rubbed under the skin of his hand, jolting the skeleton awake. Blinking, blue crystals focused. Elby. Ferdinan turned bright red and looked away as a yawn took over. Bony hands went to work, returning tools to their proper place. Have you finished your proposal for this block's final project? A cringe shook Elby's entire body and drew his attention from his hands to his mentor. I need it by the end of the week for initial approval. I can't think of anything. Mismatched eyes turned away in shame. Nodding, Ferdinan yawned again. You're young, but advanced project ideas can receive special approval to be a year-long project instead of just a block, if that's your trouble. Setting him up for failure after failing him. Such a great mentor. Really? I didn't know that. Elby looked up timidly. But nothing's coming to me. Ah, I understand. That's not easy, Ferdinan sympathized. I really am trying, I am. I'll show you some of my past projects tomorrow. If Elby's this far behind, how bad will it be for you? Maybe they'll help you with an idea. Would you like that? Yes, I would. Mismatched eyes brightened. Tomorrow then. A giant yawn seized Ferdinand's body. It was in direct contrast to his aching muscles screaming to run. But between the healing and how tired he was. If you don't kill him before then. Thank you, sir. A giant grin glowed on Elby's face as he left. Watching his pupil dash out made him realize something. That voice was still there, but those unwanted memories hadn't been bothering him. If only the fatigue would go away. Before he could think too deeply about this, his screen beeped. Seeing the message, his insides liquefied. It was hard not giggling. Ferdinan looked honestly distressed, turning down her company. Giving his assurance they'd play later, he hurried out of his lab, only to run into John. Eavesdropping was tempting, but she had plenty to do. Might as well take advantage of this. A short trip down the silver roads brought her to a woman. From there the work started, one person after another, connection after connection, until she found where the woman's influence ended. From there she worked her way back, making each connection her own. The last in the branch was an old man. Life had undoubtedly beaten him more than once. In Oya's palm rested the growing number of connections she'd already hijacked. Irresponsible. How many has that Kajoma indoctrinated into her madness? How could one person infect so many? Sighing, she stretched. This seemed like a good idea, a simple and easy solution, until she started. Closing her eyes, Oya centered herself. 6 new connections were hers. Why are these 6 so hard to claim? Am I doing too much too quickly? Even if she was, it didn't matter. Time was limited. Focus. One more. Pinching her fingers together, wheeled a needle, holding a bit of her soul into existence. Inhuman green eyes flew open, and she jabbed the needle into the man's chest. I'm sorry, old man, but you chose an evil beyond what I can allow. The man stood unfazed. Neither his mind nor heart nor body were there, only his soul. And a soul could suffer unforetold agony without a person being aware. A small prick was nothing. The needle plunged deep, and kept pushing until it passed through the man. Every connection he had fell from him, writhing, twisting into a rainbow barely the width of a hair. Taking up the thread, she melded it into the one she'd pulled through the man's heart. Needle in hand, she weaved it around her new connection. Once, twice, thrice, she knotted it. Memories and emotions she had no right to hit hard, but they always did. Consuming another's connections, this was the price. Everything had a price. She weaved the new string into her bundle. The woman standing behind the old man was next in line. But Oya was tired, and there was still Zephyr. At least Yuyu was taken care of. Since she did her part, she'd let the healers finish the rest. A wave of the hand, and the door to the silver roads opened before her. They were quickly becoming her favorite place to roam. No matter how lost she got, feeling her way back was simple enough. And the seeming infinity of locations? If only there was time to find every end. Activating the chime, Zhao waited outside John's lab. Zhao? John opened the door and motioned his unexpected guest inside. How are you doing? Huh, ever the one for pleasantries, Zhao smirked. I'm serious. I'm better. Having a focus helped. I'll find the one who saved my people. Unconvinced and looking a little worried, John continued. Can I help you? Zhao scratched his neck nervously. With everything that happened recently and Healer Bear being busy, I haven't been able to finish my end-of-year report. I was hoping you could help. Okay. That was due 2 months ago. Like I said, I don't know how helpful I can be. Unusual events concerning my underlings are supposed to be recounted. Since you 2 were gone most of the block, I need to put that in there. When John moved defensively, Zhao hurried on. No specifics. I know we get classified requests, but I need to know either what you were doing or where you were, something to justify your extended absence." John relaxed his shoulders and nodded. "An alumnus working at a children's hospital in South Chuzo hired Ferdinan to make a medical device. I assisted him." Acid and fire burned in Zhao's chest. Of course. What sort of device did he make this time? I swear he comes up with the most bizarre things. A children's hospital in South Chuzo. Why does that sound familiar? John nodded. True, and this one was odd. You can't say that and not tell me what it is. Leaning on the table, Zhao gave his most charming smile. He called it second skin. What? That's what the healers are using in Yuyu's treatment. He just happened to make the perfect device months before, and he couldn't save my sister? Zhao reinforced his smile as his last memory of Rura settled in his mind. Charred, lifeless. What they're using for Yuyu. I wondered when he created that. Yeah, John shook his head, studying the science lead closely. Leave something like that to the idea man. Must have been tricky to take so long. Zhao winked. Chocolate brown eyes floated to the ceiling. Ah, yeah. That was an unusual gesture for the young thinker. What else were you two doing there? But I'm guessing the blight kept you from traveling back for a while. Turning away, John steadied his voice. By the time we heard about it, people were panicked. Wonder how he managed it. I might hunt down our elusive friend and ask him. Good luck. John stopped himself from saying anything more. Where's he been lately? Facing Ferdinan wasn't something Zhao was ready for yet. Just hearing the boy's name made his heart burn. But this conversation needed to sound natural. He was making something an hour ago, but left when a call request from his mother came in. What is it? Zhao asked at John's suspicious expression. Nothing. Concern's written on your face. I lost my chance to naturally ask about the hospital's name. Still, Zhao had another source. He went to his suite to answer it. Dropped a project he claimed was important and time-sensitive. Said something about wanting privacy. Wouldn't his personal lab be more private than a room in a suite he shares with other people? Yeah, but Zephyr isn't back yet, and Theon should be monitoring. Giving a shrug, Zhao grinned. How does John not know his own ally has returned already? Even I know that. Who am I to begrudge a child an uninterrupted chat with his mother? Not I, John agreed. How long have I been here? There was no indication of time. Nothing to note day or night, minutes or hours. It was just Yuyu, in the middle of an active universe. Active, but not efficient. Orbs of colorful light danced around, but every time they tried coming together, they either destroyed each other or ended up missing. Countless paths existed, but some of them didn't go anywhere. The biggest one, it was disconnected from the rest, and there was no way to reach it. What caused all this? And why wasn't that old woman returning so she could ask? Not sure what to do, Yuyu roamed. Her search for materials to fix the roads failed. She didn't have the first idea on how to help the orbs. That left her sitting again, wondering how long she'd been trapped here. Maybe I have to call her? It seemed silly, but it couldn't hurt. It wasn't like she had anything better to do. Hello? Why didn't I ask her name? Hello, old woman. Can you hear me? Though there was plenty for her words to echo off of, none of them came back. They just continued. Sitting down, she allowed her pink eyes to wander. Maybe an idea would come to her. Or maybe it encouraged time to pass quicker, if it was passing at all. It wasn't until Yuyu was on her feet, staring into gold-flecked black eyes, that she realized someone had tapped her shoulder. Lines marred every inch of weathered skin. Wavy, pure white hair framed an impressed and surprised look. But the most notable feature was that smirk. It definitely belonged on one much younger. You called, young one? Yuyu blushed, suddenly embarrassed. Sorry, but it's lonely, and how long have I been here? Longer than I thought, but not too long. Yuyu flinched instinctively when the woman's gnarled hand patted her shoulder, but there was no reason to. She doesn't feel like anything. A giggle left her. Of course the old woman wouldn't. She wasn't awake. No one was actually touching her. May I ask your name? My name. I guess that's fair. Joints popped and cracked as the old woman stretched. You may call me Mulam. Mulam? What's that mean? A knowing grin deep in thick wrinkles. It means one of dreams. What does Yuyu mean? Did I tell her my name? But her name, it's too similar to mine. Is she part of my mind? Yuyu means dream creator. Oh. Mulam looked genuinely surprised. Interesting. I'm sorry if I'm bothering you, but... No, young one, I should apologize. I didn't realize how long they'd keep you asleep. That arthritic hand waved a chair into existence for the woman to sit. Solitude isn't good for the mind, or soul. So, you'll stay? For a little while. I have others needing care, but a few hours at least. When Yuyu looked away, Mulam continued. I'll come back every night till you wake. Thank you. Well, the old woman grinned and looked around. At first, she watched eagerly as two orbs approached each other, but when they exploded, her expression changed drastically. How often does that happen? About half the time. The other half they don't meet. Standing, the woman approached a nearby orb, studying it. Anything else strange? A little hand motioned to the brick road encompassing the galaxy, and the ones crisscrossing it. None of these connect to the main one, and a number don't connect to each other. I see. For a long time, Muulam watched and studied. Every now and then she'd reach out at nothing before pulling her arms in again. This alone was strange, but a small colorful thread wrapped around that gnarled hand felt more out of place. What's that? Excuse me? The old woman looked back, waiting. That thread around your hand. Curiosity danced with amusement in those black eyes. You can see this? Yes, ma'am. Interesting. Instead of answering her question, the old woman changed topics. Would you like to learn how to connect the roads? The Duchess wasn't a large woman, but her very being held power and conviction beyond what Ferdinan could hope to withstand. With each recent failure she listed, his soul shriveled a little more. I'm sorry I cursed your life. I'm sorry I made it worse, harder. I apologize. The supplies will arrive in 2 days. A scoffing huff left the Duchess. Disappointment. Every time. Do you know how many ended up in hospitals because of this delay? Instead of wasting time shirking your duty to our prince, finish the tasks you've been given. How did I end up with a defect? A failure? Yes, Duchess. Eyes down, Ferdinan fought back a flood. I can't do anything right. The conversation ended with one last warning not to fail their country again. You're a terrible son. The skeleton went straight to his bathroom and reached for the faucet. Icy water filled the tub. Breath failed him. Ferdinan gripped the edge with all his might. I have no right being upset. Pathetic. Brought it on myself. Disappointment. This is all my fault. Failure. If I could do something good. Useless. If I could do something right. Defect. Ferdinan continued berating himself, the knowledge of his failure shaking him violently. Fully dressed, he stepped into the frigid water. Cold bit mercilessly into his fragile skin. Blood coated his tongue from biting through the insides of his cheeks. A voice taunted him. Sliding down, he hid his face behind bony hands, slipping lower, submerging himself fully. Can't do anything right. I'm useless. Pathetic. I fail at everything. I'm failing my apprentices too. How badly did I fail, Yu?